Is there discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Executive minutes of 11/28/2016.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the executive minutes of November 28, 2016, but not to be released in public.
Motion by Mr. Marcy,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Fox. Is there discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. And finally, executive minutes of 12/2/2016.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as written for the executive minutes from December 2nd, 2016, as written, not to be released at this time.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Fox, seconded by Mr. Marcy. Is there discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Item 3 is appointments and resignations. Item B, recreational marijuana ad hoc committee members, Orphan and Kerry Siganovich. Mr. Valiakonis.
So we, the board, as you know, at your last meeting, had appointed several members to serve on the ad hoc study committee, and both Ms. Finn and Mr. Siganovich, who are both town officials, would like to step forward and assist by being members of the committee, and I would recommend that you consider them for a position on the committee.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Marcy, seconded by Mr. Fox. Is there discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously.
Thank you, Laura and Carrie.
3C, Dudley Police Department Officer Tyler Smith, permanent appointment to be effective on 1/15/17. Chief Lanner.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Yeah, I sent you this letter for the appointment purposes, because I think this is the last posted meeting in December. So we'll have the reserves in a minute, but let's figure to get on the business with Tyler Smith. Will be completing his probationary period on January 15th of 17. Tyler's done a great job for us since he's come on, and what I'd ask the board is to give him a permanent appointment effective on January 15th, 2017. So he'll still be on his probationary period until that time. Hopefully, he won't make any mistakes, and he'll carry through till the 15th and just to be able to assume the full-time position. So we're very fortunate to have a guy like Tyler. He's done a great job for us so far, and we got a really good group, and it's just another example of how our the system we have in place really works to get us some quality people and some good members of the community and on the department. So I just asked, Tyler was actually working, so he was stopped chasing accidents. I asked him to come in and just be here for the board too if you had any questions or anything else.
Okay. First, what's the board's pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we appoint Officer Tyler Smith to a permanent appointment to be effective January 15th, 2017.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Fox, seconded by Mr. Marcy. Discussion.
Busy day today, Tyler?
Not yet.
Not
I
yet?
just had a
Are you-
walk-in, so I gotta rush back downstairs after this, but
Right. And I saw you come in. I was glad you
Yeah.
got to do this in public. It was good. Thanks.
How long have you been a reserve?
I was a reserve for about 6 months.
6 months.
Yes.
And what's your status now? Until January 17th. is
I've
it?
been full-time for, it'll be a year, January 15th.
So, so this was a probationary appointment initially?
No, what happened was he was appointed to his probationary.
Just the
His probationary appointment was January 15th of 2016. So he had graduated the police academy in January. He was appointed as a student officer from our part-time list around August of 2015, and then he graduated the academy in January of 16. And so he was appointed on his probationary period at that point. And so now,
No, it's
on the
over.
15th to 17, he'll be reaching his end of his probation period.
I got it. Okay. Any other questions?
I'm good.
He's good.
He's good.
Okay, hearing no further discussion, call it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Good
Great.
job and stay
Congratulations.
safe.
Thank you.
Yep.
Item 3D, at Dudley Police Reserves with terms to expire of 12/31/2017. Mr. Marcy.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we extend the terms of the following Reserve officers with terms to expire December 31st, 2017. Officer James Rivera, Officer Derek Peck, Officer Daniel Melhouse, Officer John Glowacki, Officer Robbie LaRue, Officer James Mastrogiovanni, Officer Eric Gulkin, Officer Ryan Kasich, Officer Ryan Matt, Officer Brian Hull, Officer Anthony DiDonato, and Officer Jonathan Brooks.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Marcy, seconded by Mr. Joseph. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chief.
Item 3E is the wiring inspector, Neil Piasta, with a term to expire 6/30/2017.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Marcy, seconded by Mr. Fox.
Good evening.
Discussion.
I know. Ooh,
Good
authority.
evening.
First of all, I'd like to say I'm deeply saddened by the loss of my neighbor, friend, and longtime friend of the town, and a good person of the town, Carol Gago. And my condolences go out to the whole family. Thank you. I would like to serve the town as the wiring inspector. Over the last 3 weeks, I've been spending a lot of time with Jen Canoia. We have straightened out all the paperwork, got everything organized to the point now where we are right on top of all the inspections.
Good. Mr. Valiakonis, meet all the criteria?
Mr. Piasta has been appointed as the assistant for, what, about a year?
It's going to be about 6 months.
6 months. Close. And we've had no complaints or issues during that period of time. He comes recommended by this office.
Else?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Hearing no further comments, call the matter to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Congratulations,
Good luck.
Neil.
Item 7A is Council on Aging Wine and Malt License, Jimmy D's Italian Luncheons, Friday, January 20...
Public comments?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Sorry.
Is there anyone here tonight who has a public comment or would like to be heard by the board who doesn't have anything on the agenda? Seeing none, hearing none, we'll move on to 7A, Council on Aging. Wine and malt license of Jimmy D's Italian Luncheons, Friday, January 27th, 2017, Friday, February 24th, 2017, Friday, March 24th, 2017, Friday, April 28th, 2017, Friday, May 26th, 2017, Friday, June 30th, 2017, all of them from 12 p.m. to 2:30 p.m.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Marcy, seconded by Mr. Fox, to approve those dates that I just read into the record and times read into the record. Is there any discussion? Mr. Marcy.
All the paperwork good?
Yes,
Good? Perfect.
all in order.
Thanks.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 7B is liquor license renewals for 2017.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Joseph.
I would like to move that we approve the 19 liquor license renewals for 2017 as listed on our agenda, subject to all departmental and regulatory approvals.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Joseph, seconded by Mr. Fox. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Common victualer's license for 2017.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Joseph.
I'd like to move that we approve the following 21 common victualers licenses for 2017 as printed on our agenda, subject to departmental and regulatory approvals.
Motion by Mr. Joseph,
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to amend that motion because Smart Plaza of West Main Street is not reapplying for her common vicular's license. She is closing the store next year.
is that okay to amend that?
Let me ask this. Did she complete the paperwork? She did not complete the paperwork. Then the amendment's accepted.
Okay. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next is orchestra, entertainment, and amusement licenses for 2017, including pool tables, jukeboxes, and video games.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Joseph.
I'd like to move that we approve the following, or the 8 licenses for orchestra, entertainment, and amusement for 2017, as printed on our agenda and subject to all departmental and regulatory approvals.
Second. Motion by Mr. Joseph, seconded by Mr. Fox. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next up is Class 1 license, agents or sellers license, new motor vehicles for 2017.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move that we approve the 2 Class 1 licenses, agents or sellers of new motor vehicles for 2017, as printed on our agenda, subject to all departmental and regulatory approvals.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Joseph, seconded by Mr. Marcy. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Class 2 license, used car dealer's license for 2017.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Joseph.
I'd like to move that we approve the 15 Class 2 licenses for used car dealers for 2017, as printed on our agenda, subject to all departmental and regulatory approvals.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Joseph, seconded by Mr. Fox. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Class 3 motor vehicle junk licenses for 2015.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Joseph.
that should read 2017,
Yes, it should.
all right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to move that we approve the 1 license, Class 3 license for motor vehicle junk license for 2017, as printed on our agenda, subject to all departmental and regulatory approvals.
Motion by Mr. Joseph,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Marcy. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Item 8 is public business. 8A, Historical Commission with a letter of support for upcoming grant application. Good evening.
Hey, guys.
How can we help you tonight?
Looking for a letter of support for a grant that we're writing with the Mass Historical Commission in Boston. And it would be for a memorial on the town common that would indicate the 6 Dudley Civil War veterans that were held at Andersonville, Georgia prison. I think it would be a nice tribute to them. They all came back, right, Mike?
3 lived and 3 died.
There? Died there?
3 died.
Oh. Is my hard drive.
He's good like that.
And even though they're already on a monument up there, the big monster monument right in the middle of it, this gives us a chance to educate and memorialize a little piece of the Civil War that normally wouldn't know about. And our proposal going to Boston will be subject to 50-50 payment. They'll pay half of it, and we would be out on the road drumming up another half of the cost. Cost right now anticipated to be $6,000. Yeah, I think we can get it in there, in the $6,000 range.
6,000 total?
Yes. And it would be a large block of Barry, Vermont granite to match the founders and 250th memorial that's there that we just refurbished. And it would be something we would use as a seat so that you'd be drawn to it and be able to sit on that. And then inscription would be on the side, the 6 gentlemen, the veterans, and indicating the Andersonville connection.
Thank you.
And within that area, we also plan on finishing off with some granite pavers that we're going to get from 2 West Main Street, and we're putting in some interpretive signage, 2 or 3 of the standing kinds of signs that would indicate what was on the common prior to us showing up, and give people a better sense of where that common was, what it stood for. It's going to be kind of a nice little historical spot to sit down and just take account of where we've been.
Sounds like a nice project. Mr. Joseph?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a two-part motion that the board wholeheartedly endorses the effort of the Historical Commission regarding a Veterans Preservation Project application with the state to be located at the town common, dedicated to the 6 Dudley residents who were interned at Andersonville prison camp during the Civil War, and that we endorse their efforts to raise the funds necessary to complete the memorial.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Joseph, seconded by Mr. Marcy. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to say I certainly support this. I'm a veteran myself.
But not the Civil War.
I might look it, but no, not the Civil War. And I think this is certainly a wonderful cause, and you certainly have my support.
Is there any further discussion? Mr. Marcy?
Mr. Chairman, thanks, guys, for always thinking of the things nobody else will, because otherwise these 6 gentlemen would be forgotten to history, and you guys make us stop and think, and I'm always amazed that you guys to do that, and thank you. Thank you. I support this.
Hearing no further discussion, call it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
When will you know when you get the grant?
We don't send it in till the end of this month, and they'll probably sit on it a couple of weeks or so.
Okay.
And once we
Thank
get
you.
it, then we know we can go out to things like the Malzer Trust that have been supportive in the past. And if that doesn't work, there are a lot of banks in town.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sure we might be able to drum up some support for this from people and businesses. Thanks, guys.
Item 8B, amended alcohol and drug policy for the town of Dudley. Mr.
The board
Valiakonis.
members, give you a copy of the amended drug and alcohol policy. The major changes are establishing marijuana as a prohibited substance for all town employees. So the changes that have been put in here were drafted by our Labor Council, which is Merrick O'Connell up in Worcester. So they've gone through and vetted this policy, and they feel that the language is appropriate. The major changes are under prohibitions, including the words in the first and second paragraphs, including marijuana. And then the additional paragraph, which is at the top of the second page, which provides exceptions for prescriptions. And it says that we don't have a policy for medical marijuana. That gets in, and so we're prohibiting employees from possessing, conveying, distributing, manufacture, sale, or use of marijuana on town property while operating town vehicles or on town business is prohibited, and the employees may be subject to disciplinary actions. So would ask your consideration. It needs to also be approved through the Personnel Board. In any labor union, we have to engage in bargaining with them.
Mr. Marcy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Greg, this is great. Will we, assuming everything gets approved by everybody, every employee will have to sign this, or just new employees? or-
Everybody.
Okay,
Everybody, there's no grandfathering of the
All right.
existing employees.
good. Thanks. I'm good.
Mr. Fox?
Mr. Administrator, has the Personnel Board seen this?
Not yet.
Okay.
I want it to be approved by the Selectmen.
We're going to approve it first.
Correct, and then it'll go to the Personnel Board.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Joseph?
I'm going to move that we approve the revised town alcohol and drug policy, and that the document contain the date that we have approved it on the document.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Joseph, seconded by Mr. Marcy. Discussion? I just had a question. Does this apply to all departments, police department, fire department, or is that?
Yeah, that's all you have to bargain. So we're gonna take the policy, we'll submit it through the proper channels for bargaining purposes, and we'll go through the bargaining process. We have an obligation under the law to do so, and that's what the next step is.
Okay.
I don't expect, though, if your question is, will we have 3 or 4 different policies? No. We're gonna have one policy.
Okay. So medical marijuana is, according to this policy, not included
Right.
as a prohibited use?
Becomes too difficult to administer, you know what I'm saying? Is someone says that they have a prescription, maybe their prescription is retroactive, it gets into a gray area that really we don't want to get into. And more importantly, council feels we shouldn't go there.
That's recommended by council, okay. Okay. All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, Greg.
Item C is recreational marijuana law discussed at November 28th, 2016 meeting. Mr.
Well,
Valiakonis.
we have our first meeting coming up on Thursday of this week. I think it's really with time will tell. I think we have an open agenda in terms of what we want to try to accomplish. But we do have our first meeting coming up, and I just wanted to make note of that.
Okay.
Nothing further has been done. We've been a little bit busy over the last couple of weeks.
I have no idea why.
I wonder.
Okay. Item D is SWCCC current assessment report. Mr. Valiakonis.
So if you go into your package, you'll see a cover sheet, South Worcester County Communications Center, current state assessment report, SWCCC. So this is our regional dispatch that we have with the town of Webster. And the reason why I wanted you to provide this is the report has been accepted by the Board of Directors and has been released to the public. And the executive summary, the key point is in the paragraph that I've starred here, is that in general, our analysis shows that the SWCCC is well-positioned for expansion and can absorb at least doubling of the current workload within the confines of the existing facility. We're looking to expand. Both Dudley and Webster are the communities that participate in the regional dispatch. We've been in since November of 2014, and we are looking for partners. And in order to do that, we needed to complete this report. I have the entire report. If you want me to send it to you, I think it's pretty well done, but we hope to use this report as member of the Board of Directors to bring on additional communities. There's been much written in the newspaper about some of our neighboring communities that are also looking to band together. And we would welcome those individuals to look at our facility and have also invited them to come to the table to do that.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Joseph.
I'd like to move that we acknowledge receipt of the Southern Worcester County Communications Center report dated November 11th, 2016. We carry this item over on the agenda to our next meeting in case there are any questions or more in-depth discussions that we choose to have.
Motion by Mr. Joseph.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Fox. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Tatro, good job the other night.
Oh, thank you.
Saturday night,
Oh, were you there?
I was.
Oh, I hope you enjoyed
As was
the
my lovely
show.
daughter up on stage.
Oh, yes, Haley. Yes, she's an illusion. Yes, she did a very good job. They all did really, really excellent. The Shepherd Hill Drama Club performed their fall production, Bad Auditions by Bad Actors, on Friday, December 2nd, and Saturday, December 3rd. The Shepherd Hill Booster Club held their annual holiday sale on Thursday, December 8th. Shepherd Hill merchandise, along with school store gift cards, were on sale at this event. Second quarter progress reports were issued on Friday, December 9th. The Shepherd Hill Show Choirs presented their 7th annual Holiday Spectacular on Friday, December 9th, and Saturday, December 10th. Both shows were sold out. The girls and boys varsity basketball teams will be beginning their seasons on Monday, December 12th. Boys varsity will be playing at home against Quabbin Regional High School, and girls varsity will also be playing at home against Northampton High School in an earlier slot. In the next month at Shepherd Hill, the Shepherd Hill Bands will be holding their holiday concert on Thursday, December 15th. Basketball, ice hockey, wrestling, and indoor track will be beginning their seasons in the next few weeks, along with other winter activities like the ski club, which will be beginning in the new year. Winter break will begin on December 23rd and end on January 4th. And finally, midterm exams will begin on Friday, January 13th, and will continue on Monday, January 16th, finally ending on Wednesday, the 18th.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jared.
Questions for Mr. Tatro?
Good job.
Thank you.
All righty, board member comments. Mr. Fox?
Michelle, I don't believe we meet until after Christmas, so I just want to wish everybody on this board and their families and their children a very Merry Christmas and a hopefully healthy, Happy New Year.
Same for you.
Same to you, Peter. Thank you.
I guess I have three things then.
All right,
I want to echo that.
all right.
One.
And whatever, regardless of what faith you or your family practice, I know that this board wishes that you have a happy and safe and healthy holiday season. Number two is I want to make it a point to thank all of the people who were responsible for the enormous success of the tree lighting ceremony. I especially want to point out certainly the Dudley Women's Club, Michelle, who, through the goodness of her heart, seems to have taken on the responsibility a great deal for coordinating that, even to the point of making, now think about this for a second, on her own, making 200 goodie bags for the Rugrats, the sub-Rugrats, the micro Rugrats, and the atomic Rugrats that were there. And I want to extend our gratitude to both Santa and Frosty. Third and final thing. If you all did not make it to the show choir's Christmas concert on Friday and Saturday, shame on you all.
You thank us and then scold us.
You realize that they make their money, that they survive by raising their money? Every single year, that performance gets better and better. I compliment Jared for his duet.
Oh, thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you, Mr. Jeff.
I also I think it's important that the town acknowledge, you may not have seen this Saturday, I think Mr. Foley emceed, but I think the town needs to acknowledge that we may have the best sit-down comic superintendent in the country, who not only is good at that, but I was shocked, and thank God my chair had arms that I could hold on to, when he led the singing on Friday night, and I mean he sang, Dominic the Donkey. It was a pleasure. The vocals, the lighting, the choreography this year was as good as I've ever seen it. It was a joy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jeff.
Well done, guys.
What's up?
I think for me.
Mr. Valiakonis?
I didn't know if Mr. Fox had something.
All set, all set.
All set?
Thank you.
Okay. You may have noticed that we've had some pretty significant water breaks over the past few weeks. There are three, Patterson, Mason Road Extension, and JB. I spoke to the water department today, and none of the breaks are related. However, the pipes that failed are all constructed of the same material, which is about 75% of the water lines in Dudley are made of the same materials. They did want to emphasize that if any resident has dirty water, please contact the water department, and the water department will take steps to alleviate any concerns about the dirty water situation. Second on my list is a copy of the proposal that I've received for replacement of the uninterrupted power source for the municipal building. You'll remember that we, at October town meeting, approved a $60,000 appropriation for the cost of removing and replacing the system that's in place. I'm pleased to report that we had a quote for $49,988, which includes all labor and materials for the project, $10,000 less than appropriated at town meeting, and I would ask the board to support the award of that contract to Power Solutions of Barrington, Rhode Island.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Joseph, seconded by Mr. Marcy. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Awesome.
Nice job.
Thank you for your work on that, Greg.
Yeah, I somehow find time to get it done.
$10,000.
There's a lot of interest, but we only had one bidder at the end of the day. And then just some other notations of things that we're working on in the office. Talking with a company that's interested in constructing a solar generation facility at the landfill. So this is something that we've had in the back of our mind. And then also, there's a company, mobile telecommunications company, that wants to consider a municipal property for location of a cellular communications tower, although the location is to be determined. This is not the same discussion that was taking place 2.5 years ago, but I'll be meeting with both project proponents in the upcoming days to learn more about the projects. And to the good citizens of Dudley, Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you, Mr. Valiakonis. Guess what's next?
We still gonna go into executive session?
Yeah.
Is there need to?
Yeah, at least on item, the first item, yes.
All right. Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna move that we convene into executive session under Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21, subsection 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body and the chair to declare. And this is on behalf of the fire department.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Joseph, seconded by Mr. Marcy. Roll call vote.
Paul Joseph, aye.
Peter Fox, aye.
John Ruda, aye.
John Marcy, aye.
And the board will not reconvene thereafter?
Oh, yeah, and not reconvene in public session, that's, yeah.